If I was starting an online coaching business in 2025, here's the exact blueprint of what I would do. And the reason you should listen is simple. I've made over $8.4 million in the last 4 years in the online coaching business. I've also had a gym that I've sold, a nutrition company, and a marketing agency. So I've seen what works, along with coaching over 500 clients in the last 2 years in our coaching company Success School. So if I had to start again today from zero, this is exactly what I would do. Step one is you need to nail your niche. You've probably heard this 100 times, but if you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. Niche is the most important thing in an online world where everything is so saturated. Everyone is making so much noise, and how you cut through is you have a niche. Specifically, you want to talk to one person who has one type of problem. So the example is someone that says, I do fat loss coaching. And then a layer deeper that you can go for your niche is, I do fat loss coaching for moms who want to lose 10 kilos. If you think about the specificity of that and targeting that type of person with ads, organic, email, etc., it's going to be far easier to talk to the specific person who you are trying to get through to when you are specific on the niche that you're going into. A bit of a funny story. One of my clients, Adriano, he came to me, started with us in Success School, and he said, hey Tim, can you check out my meta ads? And I had a look at his meta ads, and there was one keyword he was using in all of his ads that was absolutely crushing, and it was the word MILF. M-I-L-F. Everyone knows what that means, but he wasn't really using it in his language and his marketing consistently. So I said to him, hey Adriano, I think you should use the word MILF in all of your marketing, all of your organic, and all of your content. And he did, and he blew up. Now he's got hundreds of clients. I think he's on track for an 80K month from 5K months, which is crazy, just because he went into the niche of MILF. You don't have to do MILF, but you have to do something that cuts through the noise of what's happening online at the moment. Step two is you need a scalable offer. So essentially in online coaching, you've got three different models. You've got low ticket, medium ticket, and high ticket. Low ticket is where you sell something for anywhere from $27 to, let's say, $150, $200. Medium ticket is $500 to $1,500 for me. And then anything above $1,500 to about $10K is high ticket. You need to choose where you're at. A lot of this revolves around how much marketing power you have or how big your audience is. So if you have no audience and you're trying to do something for low ticket, you're just basically going to be broke because you're not going to have enough people to sell to. Medium ticket usually is a good sweet spot for people that don't have huge audiences. And why I'm saying that is if you're just starting out now, you probably don't have too much of an audience. And then high ticket is really good because you obviously make a lot of money and you can do a really good job with someone because you're working with them intensely over a long period of time. So if I was starting out with you, I would probably select medium ticket to high ticket because you can make a decent amount of money even with small audiences. The biggest issue that every coach has when they're first starting out or they're starting out in 2025 is they just don't have an audience. If you don't have an audience, it's very hard to sell to. So you need to pick a scalable model for you and your audience type at the moment. The secret that no one really wants to tell you in business is business owner basically means marketer, okay? And after you're a marketer, you're also a salesperson. 80% of the time you spend in your business will be marketing your business. Unfortunately, that's just the reality of what's going on. And if you have a really good niche and you have a scalable offer or a model that people actually want, you're gonna do a hell of a lot better. Too many coaches get stuck charging $97 for random courses that people don't really want. And then they wonder why they can't make any real money because they're charging $97 and they don't have thousands or hundreds of thousands of people to sell that course to. So you need to match up your audience size with the thing you're selling. I would probably recommend for most people watching this video, medium to high ticket when you're first starting out. Step three is you wanna make content that converts. And this isn't just a random quote post that you throw up on Instagram, a couple of carousels, a flexing shot or a body shot of you. It's actually content that people resonate with and builds know, like, and trust. The best way, in my opinion, after 15 years as being an online coach, is long form content. And I'm not saying everyone needs to start a YouTube channel like the one you're watching right now or start a podcast. That's incredible from day one. It's a building process. So there was a study a couple of years back by Google, and they found the easiest way to build know, like, and trust with an audience is to get them to consume 7 hours of your content. And the fastest way to get someone to consume 7 hours of your content is via long form. So if you think about creating 7 hours of watch time with a 10-second reel, I remember I did the math a while ago and it was like something like 6,000 reels or something you would have to produce to get them to watch 7 hours of your content, which is really hard to do. So I would suggest starting long form. That could be blog, how-to, educational content. That could be a podcast, whatever it is. And the hack here is you want to chop it up into micro segments or micro reels. So for one video like this, I might get 10 golden nuggets or 6 or 4 or whatever it is. And I can use a tool like Descript or some kind of AI clipping tool, and I could make a ton of really good content that way. So you're going to start out, you could call this the content waterfall method, with 1, 10, 15, 20 minute long form content like a YouTube video or a podcast, chop it up, and then you're gonna have tons of reels that you can share. The distribution effect of having 3, 4, 5 different reels a week is really good for content. On top of that, outside of the content that you're making, we can be emailing, we can be doing those carousels, we can be doing quote posts, but we need to have a really good base of content that builds know, like, and trust with your audience. People don't buy offers, they buy people a lot of the time, especially in personal industries like we have in coaching. So they want to buy into you, they want to buy into your beliefs, your values, what you've got going on, what you like, what you don't like, what you're into. You need to be showing your prospects these type of things, and it's going to be far easier to get a yes on the conversions, which we're going to get to in a minute. Number 4 is we want to automate lead capture. There are 2 main ways I would suggest doing this. I think everyone, when they're first starting out and they start generating a few clients and a little bit of money, is they should be running some kind of lead generation ad campaign, just because you want to build a list. A story I've got for you here is I used to run a gym for 10 years, and before that I was a personal trainer, and I had someone that was on my email list for 12 years, and I was emailing 2-3 times a week. They haven't replied to a single email in 12 years. And then one day they replied and say, hey, yep, sign me up. We sold them a $5,000 personal training package. And that was after emailing someone for 12 years. The way you get a ton of juice out of your audience, or a ton of business and money and revenue, is you need to be consistent for the long term with lead generation and nurturing those leads. And if I never would have started an email process where I was emailing my list a couple of times a week for 12 years, I never would have got that $5,000 client. And people always ask me, like, I built a gym. If you guys know Perth, Western Australia, it's basically in the middle of nowhere, the most isolated city in the world. And I had a gym that was 40 minutes outside the city, outside the CBD. And we had this gym that was in the middle of nowhere, and it grew to, our biggest month was $96,000. The way we did that was just being consistent with our marketing and lead nurture. And one of the ways is you have to build a list. And that can be on social media, that can be on email as well. But I would suggest you need to get a lead generation practice going. So back to the lead ads here. Everyone should be running some kind of lead generation campaign, whether that is a lead magnet, a download, a quiz, a takeaway, that can be an offer, whatever it is, you need to be building a list, and ideally as cheap as possible. I've seen lists being built for $1, even some 80 cents, and that's for name, email, number, and you can grow your list that way with lead ads. The second way is the ManyChat automations that you've probably seen. And you can look on my profile at RealTimFrey on Instagram. I do this a couple of times a week. I'll give value in a post, and I'll say, hey, if you want more information on this, comment the word below, and then it will start a ManyChat sequence. And usually it will just ask you for an email address. As soon as you give me your email address, I'll add you to our Go High Level account, and I'll start sending you emails, and that's the way we grow a list. So 2 ways, meta lead ads work really well, and then a ManyChat lead generation strategy. And the 5th and final step is you want to sell with conversations, not just content. So if you're just getting started, there's going to be an air of lack of trust about what you do because you're new to the market. So is this guy or girl worth listening to? Do they know their shit? Are they going to get a result for me? Are they a scammer? Are they full of it? People are going to be asking all these types of questions. One of the ways you can alleviate that is with a conversation. So most of the time, if you get into a conversation with someone on Instagram or social media, you're going to have a DM conversation. From there, you can use a structured framework to take someone from cold to sold. And then on top of that, I would suggest doing calls. Okay, I know sales calls or discovery calls or value calls are a little bit frowned upon in the market these days. You can not do them when you have a high degree of trust. So if you have a YouTube channel with 10,000, 100,000 subscribers, or you've got 100,000 followers, it's a lot easier to create trust and build trust because you have a track record and proof. If you don't have any of that, there's going to be low trust. So you need to alleviate that as much as possible. So most of the time I would suggest a DM conversation, transitioning to a sales call, hear about what their goals are, what they want, and then offer a solution to their problems. Then you want to offer them an offer that's a heck yes for them, so they can take action on that offer immediately and then start to get into the service or the routine with you, and you fulfilling the promise of what you're delivering. In my own company, Success School, we transitioned from doing free calls, free value calls, to sales calls. Then from sales calls, we went to no sales calls to offer document. And you can only do that if you have a big enough audience and a big enough demand to do that, where we just send someone an offer doc now and they sign up yes or no and they start with the service. That works really well if the offer is a heck yes. Okay, so our offer is $297 a week, and someone could sign up and we have a 30-day love it or leave it. There's not too much risk there. Someone's only risking potentially $1,200 and then they're out, and they're going to know if we can help them with their marketing or not. So I wouldn't suggest doing that, especially if you were just starting out, but the opportunity for you to get to something like that, where you've built enough trust with your audience and you've done enough long form podcast, YouTube, those types of things, that is an option for you. If you got some value from this video and you want us to help you build 100K a month online coaching business, go to the pinned video in our channel. and my wife Steph will walk you through the process of how we will help you grow an online business to that level.